Hello, good evening and welcome to the program. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Tonight, we take a deep dive into the unfolding wave of political defections sweeping across Nigeria. As familiar faces cross party lines and new alliances emerge, what do these realignments signal for the 2027 elections and, more importantly, for governance? We also interrogate the state of Nigeria's economy, from rising inflation and currency volatility to the hardship on the streets, and how it's shaping voter sentiment, public trust, and the national political conversation. And then there's the reform agenda. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it is working to strengthen the integrity of our elections. But can these reforms bridge the gap between the ballot and Nigerians' belief? We'll be unpacking these issues and more with our guest tonight, a political analyst and commentator. Engineer Nurudden Hammanyero is joining us for tonight's conversation. Engineer, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's conversation. Let's start with one of the most obvious talked about issues of late, the gale of defections. You're a member of the APC, and there have been different takes and opinions about what this means for not just the current times, but going forward. What are your concerns about what is happening right now and how it is shaping the conversation for 2027, if you have any concerns?
Yeah, I do, Talba. Good for my party, very bad for democracy. Very, very bad for democracy, because I always like to stick to the advocacy of morality in politics. A situation where ideologically based, structures around party affiliations and then understanding of party manifesto or whatever it is that defines the party around you or that you seek to associate with, rather than what the naira and kobo you're supposed to gain because of your relationship with the party. I so much don't buy into this attitude of people always wanting to cross over because they don't have the shocks absorbers to withstand opposition. And there is nothing really more, and betraying public trust. But whenever you want to look at this, look at it holistically and ask yourself the question, who is to be blamed? Is it the person that defect anytime at will as he chooses to because he knows there will be no consequences? Or the voter who has given his confidence to the defector without holding him accountable for defecting without his consent or approval? Who do you blame? And in my own case now, I will tell you, in every case, I would like to blame the voter. Because assuming we have punished very well people who defect on their own, because politics, first of all, as is enshrined, is not about you. It's of the people, it's by the people and for the people. That's democracy. So if you are going to defect, and I don't think, as much as I said it's good for my party, I don't think Sheriff Oborevori have consulted the same people that voted him to the exalted office in his state before he defected. Because I look at it very insulting to democracy, and this in a way abuse the entire system, and gradually will continue to deny innocent Nigerians of the confidence they have rested on individuals, to really steer their affairs for the period of 4 years. If
you listen to their comments, not just Governor Sheriff Oborevori, but the immediate past governor of Delta State and the running mate to Atiku Abubakar in 2023, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, their take is this is in the best interest of their people. And as far as they're concerned, this alignment with the APC and alignment with the center, as they put it, is only going to be beneficial for Delta State.
I disagree.
Do you think there's an argument there?
I disagree. Completely, I disagree, because Wike was not in APC when he helped President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, who thought in this country that Rivers State for the first time would deliver an APC governor? Who? Because even when Amechi was a sitting governor in his second term, when he made the alliance of, giving birth to the APC as one of the pillars, he couldn't deliver APC to his state. He couldn't. Remember, that was when Governor Wike came to power. He couldn't. He didn't deliver his state to the APC. So Wike stood with his party, delivered the president in Rivers State, and also delivered himself as the governor. Sorry, in the last election, he delivered the president, exited the party, now he is the minister, and he's still a member of the PDP, yeah. But you see how he plays his politics. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is you must not defect. The argument that it is in the best interest of the state, I differ 100% with what Okowa or whatever will say. I only look at it and they are culpable. Because when Nigerians accuse them of cowardice, when they accuse them of betraying public trust, it is the truth. Because how do you go back? I saw your conversation with Otumba, who said he wondered what these guys would tell their children that it is the reason for defecting from their party. In the second year, you haven't even exhausted your effective period of governance. Mr. Talba, it's very important we don't forget this as far as government is concerned. This government this is the month that will make this government 2 years in office. The same thing goes with Governor Sharif. Meaning he is still, and I saw one of the subject matter expert also challenging him on the basis that nobody is stopping your federal allocation. Nobody is stopping your internally generated revenue. Nobody is stopping you from interacting with your party members or taking about decision that would, move the activities of your state. So what is the concern for defection?
Do you also think there is a point to be made around preferential treatment for governors or states run by the APC? Do you think the Tinubu administration is being fair with governors who are on the opposition platform? I
have not seen it anywhere. If there is, you should point out to me, because I have not seen already. We have so many APC governors, but if there is going to be a preferential treatment given to a defector, a coward defector, then
why do you say that?
Because
there's nothing unconstitutional about it.
Forget about the constitution that is backing the freedom of association. I agree to that. I'm not. Mind you, I always tell you this. It's not about the legality. Sometimes it is even shameful to practice things that are legal. So on the basis of that, you have your people whom you have lied to, whom you have given so much confidence, and they gave you the mandate, their trust.
You saw the people in their thousands.
In their thousands, but scattered all over. Yeah. Scattered all over, because you can just look at that and say, this was a very good shopping. A very good arrangement to bring these people and prove that we are ready. Look, if you want to support the president, you can do that. We have, over the time, defined some territorial loyalties to some certain parties in Nigeria. Take it or leave it. And Delta State has been a PDP state from 1999 that I know. What happened, Mr. Talba? What happened? You just wake up in the I don't know how he slept. You just wake up from your sleep and just begin to have meetings with, yes, like I said, good for my party, because we want to have our second term. We want to consolidate, because we bring about policies that we by now we expect would have changed the life of Nigerians. But yes, things are not really going well. But yes, we want to look at that. If more time is given, perhaps those things will work and certainly will make a point. But the truth of the matter is, defection, I don't buy into it. If you want to defect, assuming you have so much crisis, what is the crisis in PDP in Delta State? Who is pursuing Sharif and Okowa in Delta State? Who? If you tell me today, in fact, if there is anybody that would defect from PDP to APC, and I will stay here and support him 100% because I don't know where is he coming from. Maybe it should be Governor Fubara, because he is having issues in his state. 27 members House of Assembly defected to APC. He wants to have peace with them. There was a Supreme Court ruling. He's not having a good time. But
We understand that this is the first of many other defections. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Eno, has also, hinted or clearly stated that his defection is imminent. We also understand that there could be a couple of other governors. I mean, you did hear from your national chairman on that day this week, pretty much saying that, listen, more are coming. You say it's good for your party, but you don't sound all too excited about it. Do you think that there is what the acting national chairman of the PDP is saying, intimidation and coercion?
It's not intimidation. Involved? Why I say good for my party, Talba, is when you look at Nigeria from 1999, there are states that defines you losing or winning election. And Delta State is one of it. River State is one of it. So in the South-South, these are critical states to consider in the South-South. And if today these states are tilting towards the APC, good for my party, like I said. However, why I'm saying it's not good for democracy, these are states that from 1999, since the return of democracy in the fourth generation, have been PDP. So what happened 4 years ago? Today we are seeing what is happening in River State PDP that is hindering...
To be fair, PDP has also lost a significant part of the South in 2023. We've seen so many of these states go Labour, right? So it's symbolic of a change in time, isn't it, politically speaking?
Yeah.
And people have a right to change their mind, don't they?
They have the right to change their mind. But what I'm saying, the mandate given to you is on the platform of the PDP. And there is no any form of crisis in your party. Concentrate. Give the dividend of democracy as you have promised. You still have 1 year plus to prove yourself that, look, this is what we have agreed, this is how far and this is how best I can do for you, and you have a choice to either give me a second chance or you let me go. And there is no trade whatsoever to Sharif, like I'm saying. Literally, there is nothing in Delta State that today is threatening him. There is no Peter Obi talking about Delta State to take Labour Party taking over in Delta State. Neither is the APC making any kind of move to take over the Delta State governorship position. So for him to have moved in his 23rd month in the office, when he still has about 1 year, 3 months, effectively 15 months to give dividend of democracy, as he has promised. This was a mandate. You've taken oath on this. And you just cowardly moved.
I mean, to be fair,
there is no fairness to this.
He was not the, first high-profile politician in Delta State.
But we are discussing Sharif now.
Yeah, but you have from Delta State, right? A couple of months ago, Senator Ned Nwoko, representing Delta North Senatorial District, switched allegiances from the PDP to the APC, right? And we also understand that the political, quote-unquote, godfather in Delta State, former Governor James Ibori, is likely going to join, if we're going to go by the words of Governor Sharif Oborivori. So it's safe to say that it's a sea change in Delta State that is happening, and it's not necessarily one man's decision.
And how are we sure it's the will of the people? How are we sure? This is what I'm talking about. If Delta State people ideologically are still having some alliances with the PDP style of governance, the governor should respect it. Finish your time. Let what you have done in office decide whether you move to APC. Because now, when
would it be right for him, in your view, to switch political parties?
There will be if he is going to do well, he should stay in his party. For God's sake.
You're saying that he doesn't have a choice. That's basically what you're saying.
I'm coming, Talba. Why we advocate for ideology in democracy? Because we have generations that are yet unborn. And democracy have come to stay. And if really we are going to send this signal down the line, and these innocent people, innocent Nigerians that we expect to come later, will look at it in good light, that this is what we have done, then we need to stick to our parties, good or bad. And that is why I'm against people, especially leaving their parties in this manner. Stay in your party. If there's a problem, fix it. Give a time frame, contribute, argue, negotiate. until you become exhaustive and you can no longer bring your how do I put it? You cannot bring your own call it character or whatever it is to bear on the party about the change you so want to see, then you can now say, okay, because of X, Y, Z, I am now exhausted. I can no longer cope up with this party. You people can bear me witness, and this is time for me to leave. It's justified. But every now and then, the moment there's a government in power, you get to see people who are not patient, Talba. And they begin to give all kind of excuses. Okay, somebody from the party was not happy with me. He sent me out. This now I'm back. This is for the interest of my state. This is not the interest of you. The interest of your state, you contested against the APC, against the Labour Party, against every other party in your state. And they chose you because they believe in the ideology of how the PDP government have been serving them in Delta State. I don't even want to talk about the presidency because the political wave in the 2023 presidential election was different, first of its kind in Nigeria. And that was why we have a third force. But now, in the governorship election, nothing has changed, Talba. So for him to have moved now to APC, yes, he is in my party, but we just have to be honest. Because I'm a Nigerian who wants to see democracy thrives and with some sense of morality. You don't welcome not dirty politics, because all over the world we are being accused of running democracy the way we want, and that is why we are not getting the benefit of it.
So you don't welcome the defectors with open arms?
No, really, that I don't welcome them. I just give you my position. I have two positions here now.
Well, it's either you welcome them or you don't.
No, I have two positions and they are well occupied. I cannot stand on one because there is a situation in the country and I'm an APC member. And I told you this. I have a president who is in his first term, and I want him to have his second term.
But they are trying to help you get what you want.
And I am telling you, I have accepted, which is good for me. But I am not Nigeria, Mr. Talba. To be honest, I should not support things simply because it is in my own favor. At the disadvantage of an entire system. Why today we are all crying in this country is because gradually, Mr. Talba, gradually the system got destroyed over time that now is beyond repairs. And that is why to fix it is even a problem. You can't even begin to locate, okay, how do I start fixing the system? And if I will continue to say, okay, it is my party, we are winning, tomorrow I'll be on the other side, what will I say?
So do you share the concerns of those who worry that this trend could lead to an eventual one-party state in this country?
Perhaps. Perhaps. And that's why I told you it's not good for democracy. It's not. Have the patience. What do you want as a governor? Okowa was given the highest position in the South-South as far as PDP is concerned, which was the position of a vice president. He was a governor. He was a governor for 8 years, Mr. Talba. Let's even put it that he has cases with countless charges with the EFCC and anything, call it. I think people like him should be bold enough to take whatever kind of pressure that will come their way and continue to spread their democratic ideals as far as party is concerned. But for him to begin to just switch and be saying...
He said there is no correlation between this case, which he says there's nothing to worry about.
Do you expect him to tell you there is a correlation with the challenges? I don't know whether he has a problem or I don't know. I'm just telling you, okay, if there is no problem, what brought about problem?
I mean, he's free to make that move.
Okay, what happened to the freedom long ago when he has stayed with the PDP, the same party that served him 8 years? And this is why I condemn the exit of Governor Nasir El-Rufai from my party, because this is a party he founded. This is a party that gave him ticket for 8 years. This is a party, yes, he supported, to produce the current president before he exited the governor's office. And 2 years down the line, you're having issue internally. Address it. Take your time until you are exhausted. You now say, okay, people like him who even gave the condition that, okay, anytime the president called me, I will look at what is the possibility of us working together. And 2 days later, he's gone.
Is it fair
So
to
where
say?
is the?
Is it fair to say that when you look at the social media space, the commentary is that Nigeria lacks politicians with integrity?
Yes.
And do you think that
Yes,
this is
100%. I am together with those on the social media space and accusing us of lacking integrity. 100%. And if we can't change it, then we should forget about seeing the dividend of democracy. Because these are people, remember, Talba, we had a time that there was one of the IGs that was in the National Assembly for screening made a statement that as he swept through the chamber, he sees people that have sentences today are sitting as National Assembly members. Where is our moral compass as a nation? What are we going to leave for our children behind? And which is the same question Otumba was asking my party person. Is it every time about winning? We should have some degree of, decorum, of concern that this is a country that has been destroyed long ago, and we want to have a good system for our children and say, look, we are going to pay, we have paid the price. You guys should also stop running to other countries for search of greener pastures. Stay, this is your country, enjoy it. We'll pay. And how do we pay the price? Running from one party to the other because you don't have money to continue to buy diesel in your house, or to continue to send your children on vacation, or to pay for their exorbitant, private school tuition fees. Or is this why? Is this all about, democracy? We should have some sense of concern for the country first. And if truly we have this sense of concern that Nigeria, like former head of state, General Abacha said, this government is a child of necessity. If truly we look at this country like this, Mr. Talba, I will not leave the APC because I'm not happy with President Tinubu. He's appointing his kingsmen, his villagers, his tribal people. He is this. He's not going to be in power forever. If I don't have the shocks to educate my people in the party and outside the party so that we come together and wrong what he is doing, so that we deter people from coming to emulate it. For example, I'm just citing an example to you. Then I should even forget about party. Maybe I should just go back and be a technocrat, spend my life trying to whether work for the government 8 years or be an industry key player. But if you want to join politics, let's have some sense. That's why today you go, because it is well entrenched. These ideologies have gone deep with people. You go in the UK parliament, you see some people generationally 200, 300 years, they have been in the Labour Party. Some people in America, four parents, children, grandchildren, they are all Democrats. And you meet a 10-year-old child would tell you his argument with his dad on the lapses that President Biden had and how they could not control it. Because every time the father comes back home from the parliament, they discuss, Daddy, how comes you did this? And the child he will find passion in serving his country, knowing there's a system in place for him. We don't have that, and we are not ready. Every time there is something, you just want to continue to milk the country. And what is more painful, Talba, is whenever these guys are not happy with a system that doesn't favor them, they go very dirty. They go very dirty, Talba. This is my pain in this country. These guys, because their impatience lead them to doing unimaginable things to hold this country to ransom. And this is why I continue to tell people we should be very careful on the way we practice democracy and our understanding of democracy, because it's affecting not only us, but it will continue to affect and destroy the Nigerian system at large.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a moment and have a listen to the outcome of a meeting of the Arewa Consultative Forum. They had quite a lot to say regarding the political atmosphere in the country, mostly their condemnation for the active atmosphere right now. You can see some of the posters in Abuja and several parts of the country where it feels like the elections are just around the corner. Meanwhile, we're still in 2025. So let's have a listen to the leadership of the Arewa Consultative Forum, their take on the political atmosphere as well as some of the developments within the polity. Right, we're going to work on that to bring you the soundbite from the meeting of the Arewa Consultative Forum. Apologies for that. But of course, one key message that they had to send was that enough of the politicking. 2027 is still somewhere ahead. This is not only unconstitutional, but it's unhelpful.
Yes.
That we're getting this much charged.
Yes.
At this time.
Yes, 100%. If that is what if this is the message Arewa Consultative Forum is sending to the larger society, not just the northern Nigeria, I am 100% with them, because I always tell you, anytime I come here, we all know that there is the effective time of governance, Talba. 20 months, 1 year in office, you are not comfortable with the government, you want to fight the government, you want to do this, why not you wait? Exhaust this government so that you have the moral ground to say, okay, we have given you 4 months, and look at what you have done. Because now the same person you are accusing of not performing or doing well in the office will accuse you of distraction. Because look at what is happening now in the country, the resurgence of insecurity in every corner of the country. And what really causes it? 2 years down the line, people are beginning to call for the president must go, this must happen, that must happen. And with this distraction, unscrupulous element, dirty people take the advantage whenever there is crisis like this. And we have seen the resurgence. Boko Haram is back. Interreligious crisis, Plateau Benue, back. Farmers' herders crisis, back. Everything you know that is unrest in the country is back with a very high momentum. And this is very bad, because, and that is the unhealthy explanation of our unnecessary disturbance of governance, because this is the period of governance. People should stop, allow the government to play their part. You are not comfortable with them, they are not doing well, leave. When they finish their time in office, you hold them accountable, because there was time and there was mandate. Not well fused and utilized, you can now say, okay, for this reason we hold you accountable. But I'm in the office. I've been given mandate, I'm supposed to work. Every now and then you are not with me, you want to do this, you make sure I'm out. This kind of distraction for what? Right. So I agree with Arewa Consultative Forum. And to this end, I will also advise the Arewa Consultative Forum should hold our key northern political players accountable. Stop them, warn them from distracting governance, because it's not good. When tomorrow you will be on the seat and the same thing is done to you, how will you then complain? So they should allow this government to focus. If they are not comfortable, there are channels they can pass, their grievances to the government and ask for a redress. But every now and then visitation, I want to go, and this is unnecessary. Right. It's unnecessary. Right. Okay, so let's go back to that report. Here is Bello Musa with the latest from the Arewa Consultative meeting in Kaduna.
In an atmosphere charged with urgency and reflection, members of the Arewa Consultative Forum converge in Kaduna to deliberate on the political, economic, and security concerns bedeviling northern Nigeria. But beyond talk, the gathering was a statement that unity, not division, must define the region's path forward. In his opening address, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Alhaji Bashir Alhaji, declared that the North would remain faithful not to personalities or parties, but to those who promote and protect its long-term interests.
Conduct a detailed study and a review of policies, projects and programs embarked upon by the current government, and determine how they have impacted the various parts of the country, particularly northern Nigeria. This is perhaps the best way to determine whether or not our interests are being sufficiently accommodated.
Alhatu also sounded the alarm over the rising insecurity in the region, urging a more coordinated and sincere effort from security agencies. Equally troubling, he noted were the attacks on the northerners residing in the South who are often targeted simply for pursuing their livelihood.
We regret to observe that the situation, particularly that of insecurity in northern Nigeria, has not yet improved. Senseless killings have persisted in parts of Plateau, Borno, Benue, Niger, Zamfara, Kaduna, Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, and other parts of the north.
The forum further condemned what it described as the injustice and marginalization of indigenous people in the Federal Capital Territory, calling for an urgent policy review to address their concerns.
The indigenous people of the FCT have been forcefully driven away from their ancestral land and rendered landless and homeless through no fault of theirs. This injustice and the maltreatment of the indigenous people of the FCT Abuja call for an urgent review.
As debates heat up ahead of 2027, the forum warned against premature political campaigns, describing them as a disservice to Nigeria's democratic stability. Instead, it called for a focus on governance and delivery of campaign promises. The meeting also featured presentations from strategic committees established to advise the forum. Former Minister of Interior Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo retired, and former IGP Muhammad Abubakar led the Security Committee, while ex-head of service Yala Ahmed and former SDF Babachir Lawal chaired the Peace and Reconciliation team. Former Kaduna State Governor Ahmed Makarfi headed the committee reviewing the proposed tax reform bills. The message is clear: the North is watching, and it will stand with those who serve, not exploit, its people. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
So annoying.
Right. Bello Musa there reporting on the latest meeting of the Arewa Consultative Forum, and some of their resolutions there include political discourse that is shaping the national conversation about 2027, as well as other issues around the lines of insecurity, economic welfare and well-being, and some of those regional concerns that they have raised around what needs to be done so that things can change for the better. Just your quick reaction on some of these developments. There's this growing regionalization of national development and so on and so forth. We've seen some of these socio-cultural, regional, socio-political groups always come out to say one or two things about what concerns their region, and we do know that their agenda is to protect the interests of their region. Talk to me about how important it is for this type of messaging to be in unison with what we're hearing from the other parts of the country, because against the backdrop of 2027, you had the likes of Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, for instance, who recently left the government, say that, listen, the North has been marginalized. He's given his take about serving the Tinubu administration. He says the president has been isolated and so on and so forth. The North will speak on election day and so on and so forth. Do you think this type of energy is helpful in pushing us in the right direction?
I don't think, Talba. I don't, because I've just x-rayed this gathering. With due respect, they are parents, and you can't really ask somebody to give you what he doesn't have. But some of them were ex-governors, ex-ministers. Some of them were opportune in previous government, swindle masses, carted away with a lot of money, resources belonging to the public, and today they are sitting talking about whatever it is, the North has been marginalized. This is a very good momentum, but where was it when Buhari was not doing well? Where was it? Where was it? Part of the things I want ACF. That was, I had this moment here on this same platform with the former Minister of Sport, Dallon. And I tell him my position when the tax reform bill started heating up, and then the governors were taking some position. My concern was simple. There was the removal of the subsidy, Talba. But they understood the equation. The end of it, more money comes to their pocket. There was hardship, but there was effort from the federal government on palliatives. I know much money was given to state to provide special services, especially in the line of transportation, food items. But what did we see happen in this country? What did we see? Where was ACF when those things were happening? Because at least these things is in our own nucleus environment. It is a northern thing. Have they made this effort to call these northern governors and say, look, the president has given you 3 times your money. We saw what was given to you in the palliatives. We are seeing people eating grasses or dying of hunger in your state or staying a 000 meal in a day, nothing, the next day to continue to struggle. How do you address this? Hold the governor to account. Then when you see this kind of coordination from ACF, or what is happening to your state with the money you are getting, that insecurity, people are dying, this is happening, how do you need our support? How do we rally your neighbors to assist you? How do we talk to the federal government to assist and complement your effort in solving your insecurity problem? Let me see that kind of momentum as in the ACF. That high-level coordination that will give me the hope as a young man in the north that these are parents and they have done their best, and I will also put my own layer on top. But I don't see that. Yes, they are not happy with the government. Some of them, the north will speak. Speak for who? The north will speak for them or speak for the north? Will this remain the style of maneuvering the northerners, innocent northerners, making them make choices that they don't even understand, only for you to line up your pockets? What is it? Because here in this gathering, we have criminals who have wrecked their states. I will go harsh this way. And nobody hold them to account. And today they are seated here deciding for me, innocently. So, Mr. Talba, I respect the ACF as, a forum, that brings about northern elders to discuss issues, challenges bordering the region, and how to bring about solution. I respect it. But I don't see that happening.
Do you think they're out of touch with the reality on the ground? With everything
they should go back to their people and first of all make sure governors are working, because there is monies coming to every state in Nigeria. There is the internal revenue generation. What is the accountability? Because if we want to hold the center accountable like we are doing now, which I don't condemn, why are we not holding the subnationals accountable? Why? Because we have challenges everywhere. We have currently now in the northern Nigeria, we have state governors who one salary is paid, the rest is me, my family, and I. And nobody is talking. Children don't go to school in that state. All health facilities are damaged. There is no any good market square that you will go without any fear, thinking that somebody will not attack you on the way. Nothing is happening, no any form of infrastructure. Roads are closed, but he's okay. As soon as he pays salaries, in fact, he choose how to pay it. As soon as he pays salaries, the remaining, nobody is talking to him. But because, yes, once there's an issue, it's expected of elders to come together and talk. But my challenge, I'm challenging the ACF as a son to them, as a concerned northerner. This momentum that I see, the energy, the burning energy in the ACF, getting so much worried about marginalization, the so-called marginalization. I should see it in bringing about good governance in the state chapters. We have so many APCs, and here I see people who are PDP, people who are Labour. Babachir was a Labour person in the presidential election. Other people are PDP. So since it's not about the party, it's about governance, we should see them coming up with ideas that would check state governors to ensure accountability and service to their people. Right. Then we can now rally around them and say we are lucky to have this set of elder statesmen. And we know when they are exiting, we will take over confidently and do our best, our very best, because we also have a generation that is looking at us. But at the moment, go out on your own and sample the opinion of an average northerner on the street. how has he felt the impact of the ACF in the last 20, 30 years?
I mean, but we don't...
The ACF, how old was it? It was the formation of, it was during Atiku's time, from 90 years, you can say 20-something years. How did we feel, what is, I really want to know.
I mean, it's just a forum. I mean, clearly there are people
it's just
who are
a forum,
influential.
but if it is just a forum, Talba, let's be clear on this. If it is just, the forum is now asking that the Northerners should speak and change the president, for example.
Well, not ACF particularly. I mean, some of the members,
but every
on their
elder
own personal,
every elder you see here,
in their own personal, political positions, have said one or two things, against the APC administration or on 2027. But as a forum, particularly, they have not said anything in that direction.
And collectively, if individuals will say, so what are you dodging from saying that this is a collective idea as well? If me and you say this how do you call it, iPad is bad, and you say it's bad, what difference does it make that we did not put in paper that we say together it is bad? We've already said it individually, and it does not matter, because this is just, and it will put tension in the country. Right. The moment it is coming officially from the ACF, right. Because we have other forums in other regions in the country. Okay. And how do we want them to treat our own president or our own northerner when he's in charge? Because I said this and I will repeat it. President Buhari spent 8 years. A lot of things happened in his government, good and bad. But how did the Arewa Consultative Forum ensure good governance and check President Buhari in terms of his misgivings when he was in office for 8 years? How did they do that? Okay,
let's piggyback off of that conversation around the polity being overheated and the narratives that have been shaping national discourse over the past couple of months. Here's the thought of Senator Ojuzo Kalu, who had this to say about the narratives and how Nigeria's image in the international community matters most, in spite of what the opposition figures are saying. The thoughts of the senator.
It's very difficult to see some of our leaders going around America, Europe, Canada, Australia, China, demarketing our country, when we're busy looking for investment to pull up the country. People are busy going to tell everybody in Nigeria that nothing is happening. Very sure. But how do we bring the people up? We must lift our Nigerians up. The policies of President Ahmed tinubu is going to work, and it's working. But the problem is that it's not trickling down. It's the trickling down effect is what is after, and that is why we need continuous investment without stop. This is why we're all over everywhere to bring new investment back to Nigeria, so that people can see work, hunger will go, and things will work. I know it's all over the world, it's difficult, but let our leaders come together. We are one family. Tinubu is not the owner of this country. He's just our president, which he will go. Buhari is already in Daura, from Kaduna. Tinubu will one day, after 8 years or so, one day be in Lagos, and nobody calls his name. So let us stop demarketing our country. Let us as family come together and work on our economic policies.
The thoughts of the former governor of Abia State and Senator Ojuzo Kalu there, speaking in the diaspora about narratives and the rhetoric, how it is demarketing Nigeria as an investment opportunity. That, I believe, is the theme of that piece that he was delivering there. How do you balance, constructive criticism and what is termed demarketing Nigeria? Because members of the opposition or those who are speaking against the policies and programs of the Tinubu administration would say, listen, we're only doing our bit to hold the government accountable and to also give it feedback about what is actually happening as a result of some of these reforms. What do you make of the points that he's making there? And do you think that that's what opposition figures and some of these other groups are doing when they speak about what is actually happening?
Yeah, first of all, I generally don't subscribe to a Nigerian or a Southerner or a Northerner condemning his region. In fact, let's even come back domestically, within the country. I never subscribe to that. If there's an issue in the northern Nigeria, the elite should not be seen to be the one talking about it, because they are also part of the problem. Rather, they should be seen to be talking about the solutions, how to fix it, because this is in the best interest of them and the people. And the same thing with every other region. If you have problems internally, solve them. And I heard you the last time here with one of your guests who also mentioned about one of the presidential candidates, condemning Nigeria, saying bad things about the country at the international stage, and he was not happy with that. He is calling on the attention of the person to stop it, because it's also not in his own interest. Truly, you are a Nigerian. If truly you want to come and take over, you want to take...
Isn't that how open debate works? You go to the UK Parliament, for instance. You hear so many critical takes from the opposition about the Labour government. You go to the United States, for instance. President Trump just marked 100 days in office. Some of the critiques from the Democrats are quite, overboard compared to what we're hearing here in Nigeria. So is what Peter Obi is saying, or Atiku Abubakar, or any other opposition figure saying, really over the top? Or?
Not really over the top. Talba, what I'm saying here is, we have people who are, okay, in law, the lawyers have this to say: he who come to equity, he
who alleges?
He who alleges. Who he wants equity should come with clean hands, or something like that.
There is a saying that.
There is a saying like that.
Who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
To equity must come with clean hands. If you are a Nigerian and I am a Nigerian. I've never been given any political office. Neither it is selected or elected. I was a military man. I resigned after some years. If I stand today economically and condemn this country and given my ideas that this is how I think best I can fix it, one will say, oh, maybe because he was not there. But most of these guys talking about it, they have their own credentials. Just years back. And this brings us back, Mr. Talba, to the morality I'm talking about. Why is it that you are the one and you were not doing anything, and now suddenly somebody is doing it and you are all over making noise? Now, for somebody like Peter Obi, he wants to be president. He was not president, but he was a governor. He was a governor. Yes, he was impeached at a point, but he later got the court judgment and he came back to finish his 8 years. Now, the same thing with every other person. Now, to demarcate the president or demarcate the country, as some people look at it, there should be some level of pride. If you hear people in the National Assembly, like you said, in the parliament in the UK or US, saying it to check their president, these are people sitting with the president they are already having a mandate. They have a time frame with him. Now, because they don't want to exhaust their time and look back to their people and say, look, we have finished the time, we couldn't do anything. So they have to be checking the executive. Look, guys, we are not doing well. What do we do to make these things better? We don't buy this, your idea. We must do this to make it better. But look, you are a politician. You've not taken this mantle of leadership yet, but you were tested at some point. If you think you will do better, come and spread your good message. Win the heart of innocent Nigerians that already want that change or want to see it happening. Yeah. When you get to that office, then bring about the change.
Some would say that the best way to shut the opposition up is to deliver on your manifesto, to deliver on the campaign promises.
Exactly.
And then they would not have anything to say about you.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, we have a system. And even if you want to deliver, you come to look at it, okay, what was demanded? What did you promise to Nigerians?
Okay.
And how there's a time that it will take you to deliver. And what is the process? Because if today we had a system that was well built from 1999 4 years term should be enough for any president to say, okay, look, I'm okay, I will go. But institutions have been destroyed from 1999. Forget about the other democratic periods. From 1999, so many institutions have been destroyed. So now if you expect a president to just come overnight because he has promised to fix this and you get it done in 2 years, and I tell you, I like making reference to this. President Buhari came with these assurances. But I remember one of the Malams in the northern Nigeria, a brother who says, a cleric who says, he will spend the first 4 years. If Nigeria was a car, he will be looking for where the wheel is. And we have seen all this happen.
Right. Okay. Interesting take there. Unfortunately, for want of time, Engineer Nurudden Hammanyero, we're going to have to leave it here for now. Thank you so much for the analysis.
Thank you for having me
tonight. Yeah. Okay. That's our show for you. Thank you so much for your time and company. Daily Politics returns tomorrow live at 8 p.m. Until next time, I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Good evening.